Welcome to the final team discussion section of Tier 1. This section includes general considerations not yet addressed in the assessment, content, and instruction sections. Thus far, we have covered an introduction of the LAPG in Module 1, information on the needs assessment and pre-planning in Module 2, components of assessment in Module 3, word recognition in Module 4, and language comprehension in Module 5. This module will cover general considerations. As with the prior sections, here are slides to share with the team. Present yourself or use the pre-recorded videos to ensure shared understanding prior to discussing ratings and evidence. How many minutes? It's important that we prioritize instructional time. Some schools may need 120 to 150 minutes of literacy instruction per day in the primary grades and 90 to 120 minutes in third grade and beyond. This highlights the need for cross-curricular instruction. We must be embedding social studies and sciences in our reading instruction, not only because we have limited time, but it also helps students build background knowledge. The time is important, but we also have to think about what is happening in that time. It is critical that we are instructing on each of the big 5 components of literacy plus writing. Phonemic awareness instruction and phonics are a major focus in K1, during which time vocabulary and comprehension skills are taught through oral language activities, such as intentional read-alouds. The LETTERS program and research would indicate that 40% of language arts time in K1 should be spent on word recognition skill building. As students become proficient readers, focus shifts to building oral reading fluency and learning more vocabulary and comprehension through reading and writing activities. The challenge of so much focus on reading and math in our schools is that we cannot neglect social studies and science. These content areas build background knowledge that facilitate reading. We recognize the challenge of scheduling. It is an area that warrants intentional problem solving and design by administrators and teachers. According to the Fordham Institute, evidence indicates that schools should commit to 45 minutes of daily lessons each for science and for social studies lessons. In this table, Spear-Swerling from 2019 outlines some critical differences between structured literacy and typical literacy practices. A reminder that the time is important, but what we do instructionally within that time is also critical. These differences include 1. A difference in intentionally, systematically focusing on phonics skills in early grades, as opposed to more incidental or limited focus. 2. The phonics approach is synthetic, learning the sounds and then blending them together, as opposed to learning the whole word and then recognizing similar parts like rhyming words. 3. Students read decodable text to practice the sound symbol and blending they have learned, versus students reading leveled or predictable texts that can lead to more guessing of words. 4. Oral text reading is included in the lesson versus only individual or partner reading. 5. The focus of reading and correcting errors is on using decoding skills versus overlooking some errors or guiding students to meaning-based cues. 6. Spelling is also taught explicitly and systematically versus more random word lists. As well as content focus, we also want to examine whether teachers are using strong instructional strategies, including differentiated instruction, to meet all students' needs. Discussions should include whether there is a combination of both whole and small group instruction, flexible groups that include both homogeneous, meaning same skill need, and heterogeneous, meaning different skill groups, and also discuss factors such as size of groups, duration, and frequency of groups, with students struggling the most getting the most support. As a reminder from the research, small groups are an important part of maximizing instruction. The main objective of small groups include checking, reinforcing, and teaching key skills in the curriculum's scope and sequence, and providing additional practice time. And having small groups alone is not enough. We need to be strategic in our purposes and design of these groups. Assessment data should be used to organize groups based upon need, and then instruction should align with those needs. Heterogeneous groups of students can work at centers and stations together. Station work should provide practice opportunities for tasks that students know how to do and skills that students have learned. Now, look over the general consideration questions and begin your group discussion.